Hello friends, welcome back. It's time for another episode of BigDenoPlays, and today we're playing Skytear Horde Monoliths. As you know, I've been making, well, people that follow the channel would know, but if you're new to the channel, one of the things I've been doing over the last few years has been making my way through the top solo games lists on BGG, trying them out, seeing if they work for me, seeing if they don't. I like to try lots of different games. Some make the collection behind me and stay, others get moved on. I have a few little criteria that I rate games on. Some I rate on if they're good with my gaming group. Some I rate on if they're good with my girlfriend or my mate Whaley who comes over for games. And the last collection is games that I rate solo. And predominantly, most of the games that I have behind me are of that third category because the large majority of the gaming that I do is solo gaming, which by the way is excellent and I love it and I prefer it that way. So we're here tonight to play a new game that I've had a few little test runs of. It's called Skytear Hordes, unsurprisingly. We'll give you a little rundown of the history of this game. So it was originally a card boss battler and a lane battler. So it came out as the first version was called Skytear Horde. And this version of the game was considered quite good. Monoliths was the first major expansion to that system, and it is considered a significantly big improvement over the first. So the changes to the rules that the Monoliths expansion have made have added a lot more tactical depth, as I understand, having never played the original. But from what I can tell, those changes have been very superior to make the gameplay more tactical and more engaging. So, the objective of the game, this over here is our castle, and we have to protect our castle. Our castle's called the Windburner. It's Sakoshi's castle. Has some abilities, which we'll talk about there, but its health, as you can see down the bottom, is 20 health. So we're tracking the health here. So this is 10, so when we get down to 10, we'll know to move it back to there, and that'll be the 20 health. My camera angle's a little bit weird because I'm down the bottom now. I'm normally a lot different, so my head's probably going to disappear out of frame, but I don't know. I like having my head on the screen. I feel like it gives you something to engage with rather than just a disembodied voice. Tell me your thoughts if you think it would be better to get my head off the screen so I've got more room for stuff. I'm happy to get rid of my melon, even though my hair is absolutely going magnificently, by the way. So, okay, so that's our castle. Don't lose our castle. Rule number 1 for not losing this game. Rule number 2, this is our deck. So this deck consists of 40 cards, and if our deck ever runs out, we lose. That's our second lose condition. So the way that our deck will run out, occasionally these monsters up the back, which are called minions, will pillage. And when they pillage, they make us discard cards off the top of our deck. So we want to try and prevent them from pillaging as much as possible. However, from this deck here, which is the Horde deck, and in this game we are playing against the Undead. So we're playing on level 2. So Horde level 2 Undead is the deck that we're playing against. That goes there. And then finally we have an outsider. And so our way to victory is by defeating this outsider. It's called the Hatebringer. It's a cool, like, undead guy on a steed. It looks sick. So if we defeat him, we win. However, there's 2 levels of him. So we need to defeat both levels before we are successful. He doesn't even start in the game though. We can't even target him until we defeat this. So this is the portal, and this is where these monsters are pouring through. So before we bring the outsider into play, we have to defeat the first level of this portal. It has 6 health, and at this stage it's going to generate us 4 mana each turn. So that is pretty much all we need for setup. So at setup of this game, we always start with 1 health on each of the minions. So the minions' attack is equal to the number of health they have on them. So these minions are all attack 1. If they remain up the top row here and not pulled down into engage in the lanes, then all they do is pillage, and we discard cards down from the deck. We have the ability to pull them down from there into the lanes, which will prevent them pillaging, but will cause them to do damage. So if a card is unopposed in a lane, whether that's ours or theirs, the damage will flow through onto the castle or the portal. So we need to both be strategic in how we place our models on the board, and we need to be strategic in, I'm going to tilt that camera down, it's annoying the crap out of me. There we go, that's better. So we need to be strategic in how we place our cards, and then we also need to be strategic in when we pull the minions down to engage. So to start the game though, let's deal us out a deck of 5 or a hand of 5. And of these 5, we can mulligan as many as we want. And we'll have a look at the ones that we have available. Mage Crafters, Bushido of the Sakura, a Shadowling, a Scepter of Kamnu, and a Steam Tower. So, what I know, having played now a couple of games, to be an absolute concrete fact, is we want as many allies as possible, and we want good allies as well. So we're going to discard these 2. This guy's probably not a good ally, but he'll get by, I think. So Crane Shadows, they're a good ally. Bushido of the Peony. Okay, so 5 allies is a nice starting hand. We'll shuffle these 2 back into the deck, and that will be our starting hand. Okay. So these cards, let's have a look at the Mage Crafters over here on our card display. So as you can see, they have a attack of 1 and 1 health and a mana cost of 2. So they're a relatively cheap unit that we'll just use as a bit of a blocker. So, okay, to start the game, we have this little handy dandy phase tracker thing that we can refer to if we want to, which I do. So the first thing we do is we gain mana, and so we gain 4 mana equal to this number down the bottom on the portal. Then we summon cards from the Horde deck equal to this number at the top. So we're going to summon this card, and we've found an Oni Horde. That's an unfortunate hotspot glare there, Deno. Very unfortunate. But that's it, the 1 card. Once we've summoned all cards from this pile, if there was a card in the outside of pile, i.e. this guy, when we've defeated the first level of the portal, he would also get summoned. However, we have not yet done that, so we move on to rotating the portal. So that means next turn we are going to get 2 creatures attacking our, added to our lanes. Okay, so that's the end of the Horde phase. So now it's our turn to play cards and do things and so on. So Oni Horde gains +1 attack for each neighbour is the rule that you can't even read there because of that glare. Does my head in the glare, I'm telling you, I've tried so many things to stop it. So it gains +1 attack for each neighbour. So right now, these guys are just attack 2 because they've got no neighbours. But it will be interesting where we place our troops, because we can place someone down here and then pull minions down by exhausting them. So, okay, so these guys are armor 1. So we need a total attack value of 4 to defeat them. I don't have anyone with an attack value of 4. However, I do have this Bushido of the Peony. And it has quite a useful rule. It says heroic 3. So if it has any damage, it gains +3 attack. Pretty powerful. It's also got 1 armor. So to get that actual first damage on is a bit of a challenge. But if we place them up against this Oni Horde, then all of a sudden they will be attack 3, which is not quite enough to get them, but that may be okay. So it costs us 2 of our 4 mana to deploy the Bushido of the Peony. So we'll do that. The next thing we'll do is we'll deploy this Shadowling, which costs us 1, and it has a play effect. So the play effect on the Shadowling says, search your discard pile or your deck for an attachment weapon. So there is one that I'm looking for. It's this one, the Lightning Naginata. So we're going to do that. We're going to bring down this Lightning Naginata. Okay, so that's a play effect. So that happens when you play the card. Some of the cards will have rules that say fight or a variety of other rules. And we do actually have a keywords book over here to refer to just in case I get stuff wrong. Cool, so the last mana we have is we're going to play the Lightning Naginata onto this Bushido of the Peony. Now, we have the option to exhaust these cards, and that can allow us to do a couple of things. We can exhaust a card to move it to a different lane. We can exhaust 2 cards to swap their positions. And finally, we can exhaust a card to bring a minion to come down. And so we want to do that. We want to bring someone down to these Shadowlings. Let's just bring the Ratamil minions. And so exhausting a card is literally just moving it down here into this section, which I actually really love as a mechanic. The amount of times I've gotten used, tapping cards and stuff. This is much neater and cleaner. The aesthetic man in me appreciates it. So our Shadowling has brought the Ratamil minions down, and the reason we've done that is to prevent them from pillaging our deck. There will still be pillaging happening, but we're going to slowly try and reduce that as much as possible. So we have no mana left, we don't have any other cards we can play, and so we will move on to the Treachery phase. So the Treachery phase is where we deal out the top card of this deck, and we'll do something based on what it has. So that says we're going to give the rightmost unit a temporary attack. And that's very beneficial for us, because if it was this unit, it would have been very annoying. But these guys were already going to attack and defeat our Shadowling, so that doesn't actually impact us in the slightest. Okay, so that's the end of the Treachery phase. Now we go through each lane one at a time, activating Horde fight abilities, so there's no fight abilities here. Then activating our abilities, no fight abilities here. So then the next thing that happens is they both fight each other. So these happen simultaneously, unfortunately. So the Oni Horde has +1 attack for each neighbour. There's no neighbours, so it's just an attack 2. Our little Bushido of the Peony has 1 armour, and so we're going to take 1 wound. So we don't get the benefit of our heroic ability until after, because we're striking simultaneously. That's an assumption from me, by the way. I haven't looked that up, but it makes sense based on every other card game I've ever played. But our Lightning Naginata means the attached ally gains 2 attack. So they also have armor 1, so we're going to deal 1 damage to the Oni Horde. Next turn, our attack is 5, quite substantial. Hopefully we'll be able to do something to allow them to survive the turn and use that 5 against the portal or something like that. The Ratamil minions are going to attack our Shadowling and defeat the Shadowling, but the Shadowling has 1 attack and the Ratamil minions only have 1 health, so we're going to defeat them. The minions always go back to the back line, but anytime you defeat a monster, you get to draw a card. So we'll draw some Crane Shadows. Excellent. We already have some of them, but they're very good. Okay. So there's no more fight effects. So monsters in the back line now pillage. There's 3 attack, 1, 2, 3. So we're going to pillage 1, 2, 3 off our deck. And that is the end of the pillage phase. We remove any temporary tokens, there isn't any. We ready exhausted cards, there isn't any. We discard down to 7, and we start a new turn. So we gain 4 mana. We're going to summon 2 cards out of the portal. So the first is Suppressing Fire. Oh no, Ratamil minions gain 2 attack, or 2 health rather. And then Zephyrite minions gain 1, so that's problematic. Summon 1 skeleton token attached to the strongest minion. This monster gains fight 2, deal 2 damage to the ally engaged with the attack monster. So We'll put it on the Ratamil minions there. So this is an attachment. So that's a pretty potent attachment. This skeleton thing is annoying. All right, that was our first card. The second card is a Revenant Cavalry. Oh, they gain +2 attack for the remainder of the turn. And when they're destroyed, they summon a skeleton. That sucks, that sucks. Okay, so we now rotate the portal. So next turn, fortunately for us, there is going to be 0 monsters summoned. So this is our turn to try and leverage our advantage. Okay, so probably the best course of action. So we can't not oppose here. Because if we don't, it's going to be 4 damage coming through to our castle. So that's quite bad. This one I'm okay with, 1 damage. So we definitely want to play just a card here. And then I think potentially we play a card here and pull the minions down. Yeah. All right, so we're going to go 4 and 4, or 2 and 2 rather. So we're going to go 2 here. That says after you play an attachment. We're not going to play any attachments, but that's the Lightning Naginata that they're wielding, by the way. And then this, we're going to pull down the Zephyrite minions. So we don't want to pull down the Ratamil minions because they will kill us before we get to attack. Okay, so that was exhausting them. We're not going to get to play any attachments. That's the end of our alliance phase. So the treachery phase, again, it's the right-hand unit gains a temporary attack, and again, that's totally fine from our perspective. So, we will go from left to right, resolve horde fight abilities. We do not have a horde fight ability here, but this guy is now attack 3. So he unfortunately is going to kill us. We weren't able to stop this from happening, but in return, we're going to kill them. So that does once again allow us to draw a card, a Scepter of Kamnu. The skeleton will attack our castle and do 1 damage to it. The Revenant Cavalry, we will do 1 to them. When it's destroyed, the Revenant Cavalry summon a skeleton. And our mage is defeated as well. That's a shame. But it was the right thing to do to oppose them. And here the Zephyrite minions will attack the Bushido of the Sakura. We draw a card because we defeated them. That's our heroic ally. And then we will defeat them and draw a card as well. It's another Bushido of the Peony. That's great. The Zephyrite minions go back to here. And then we go into the pillage phase. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So as you can see, our deck runs out very quickly if we don't control those minions. Okay. Fortunately for us though, we've got our ally or our hero Sakoshi. So let's put Sakoshi up on screen. What a champion! Sakoshi. So the play effect is Gorilla 2. Gorilla? What does Gorilla do, you might ask? It removes health tokens from a minion. Armor does not prevent this. So we are going to be able to remove those Ratamil minions' health, which will also mean that they lose that attachment. Maybe? Maybe they don't. But that's okay. We're going to not worry about them in the slightest. So we're going to play Sakoshi into this lane. It's going to cost us all 4 of the mana that we generated this turn, which does suck. But Sakoshi has Gorilla 2, so we're going to remove both of those. Are we better off trying to smack up the portal now? Better off going here and just smacking up the portal. No. I've got a plan. I'm going to stick with my plan. Okay, so Sakoshi does have a fight effect. And Sakoshi's fight effect is quite awesome. It says, fight, deal 1 damage to a monster or to the portal. I'm going to deal 1 damage to this monster. We're going to fight each other. And I'll deal 1 damage to that monster. And I'm going to suffer 1 health. We're going to pillage 2 because there's 2 monsters here. 1, 2. I did need to rotate this as well. And that is the end of that turn. Okay, so now we're going to be able to bring those Yetnar minions down, which will be great. So, next phase, generate 4 mana, and we've found snipers. Onakai minions gain +2 health. Oh no, snipers deal 2 damage to the ally with the most health. Oh no, Sakoshi's dead. Oh, that is so bad. It was going to be a really good turn, and now these snipers have just munted us. Snipers, how dare you? That's the 1 card though, so that rotates around. And okay, we probably need to bring down. All right, we've got another Bushido of the Peony. So let's bring him down for 2. Probably let's play the Scepter of the Karma as well. When we play, that does Assault 1. Assault 1, damage the portal. Yep, so we're going to bring down these Onakai minions. It's a must do, I think, by exhausting this Bushido of the Peony. And that is our phase. We're going to end our turn with 1 mana, so that seems quite good. Did I remember to draw cards? No, they were both skeletons. You don't get to draw cards from skeletons. Alright, Treachery phase. This guy gets an attack. That's bad as well. It's going to kill this guy. No. But we are going to gain a fight effect, which is Scepter of Kanu, Assault 1. It's going to gain another 1. And we actually don't do any damage to these guys because we have no attack whatsoever. So that's an awful play. But they did need to use all of their attack to kill us, which means they don't filter over to here. So our Bushido of the Peony is defeated. Yetnar minions will go there. And then at the end of the turn, this guy will go back up to the top. And we move on to the next turn. So we're going to go up to 5 mana. We're bringing out 1 card right now. So it's an Oni champion. After Oni champion damages a castle, he's going to pillage. And he's got armor 1. Okay, so we're going to spend 3 of our mana to bring down the Crane Shadows. Oh, this is bad. This is a bad time to be us. Maybe we might go for the castle at this point. So if we go here. Yep. We're going to be able to, we're going to be able to destroy the portal this turn. So let's do that. Let's go the Crane Shadows there. We'll keep 2 mana for the next turn. So we're not going to exhaust them. We're going to take a lot of pillaging this turn, but our castle's relatively healthy, so I think we can afford to take some damage. So the Treachery phase. Lightning. If the boosted monster is engaged, move it to the rightmost free lane. It is not engaged, so that Treachery effect does not do anything. So we will do our attack. So that's going to be 2 damage to our castle, 1, 2, and it pillages a card. We have a fight effect, Assault 1, so we're going to do 1 damage, and then we're attack 3. 1, 2, 3, so we're going to smash the portal. This says, when destroyed, reinforce 2, and place the outsider at the bottom of the outsider pile. So that's our first outsider right there. This now flips. Reinforce is a keyword that tells us to place health on the 2 lowest health minions. Pillaging for 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And we are not doing too great on the card front, but we now have the Hatebringer available. Okay, this is going to be a bad turn for us. 2 cards coming out. So the first one is a Shade Coven. So no play effect. The second one is another Shade Coven. And the third that we bring down after gaining 6 mana, which takes us to 8, is the Hatebringer comes down. He's going to strike the castle for 4 damage as his play effect. That seems bad. 1, 2, 3, 4. So we're down to 13. Okay, it's gotten very bad. We're going to spend a mana to draw a card. A Scepter. Not our best. Not our best. Okay, so this guy has 2 armor that we have to penetrate each turn before we can actually wound him. Okay, remember, the way that we win this game, we defeat this guy, and then we defeat his second level, and that's it, we win. So everything that we do needs to be focused on that outcome. Okay, so we have enough to play both the Crane Shadows and the Scepter of Karma. When we play the Scepter of Karma, we play an Assault 1. So we're actually going to use that to assault the Outsider, and that ignores his armor because the armor applies for the turn. So that's all. Okay, so this here is now going to go. We have the Lightning Bolt. Deal 1 damage to an ally as a treachery. Okay, we'll deal it to this guy because he is dying anyway. Doesn't matter. Yep, so that's the treachery. Okay, fight phase. This guy's going to pillage a card, 1, and he's going to do 1, 2 to our castle. This guy's going to do 1, 2, 3 to our castle. 1, 2, 3, so we're down to 8. This guy is going to attack us for 2, and we're going to attack him for 3, but we also have a fight ability, which is Assault 1. So we're going to plink off that armor, and that now means when we attack this guy with our 3 attack, it's going to defeat him. So then we're going to attack each other with 3 attack, does 2, they're 2 attacks. So they're going to defeat us, but we are going to defeat the Shade Coven. So that allows us to draw a card. After a neighbour of Shade Coven is destroyed, they gain a health. And now we go here. So we have a fight effect, which is Assault 1, and we've got that twice. So we're actually just going to go 1, 2 onto the portal, and then we will attack for 3 onto the Hatebringer, and he will attack on us for 4. So we will unfortunately lose that. However, we have defeated the Hatebringer at level 1. So this one goes into the pile and we draw a card. More cheeky little Crane Shadows. 4, 5, 6, 7 cards being pillaged. Not good. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We have 4 cards left in our deck. But if we can defeat the guy this turn, then we win. So let's go on to the next round. We gain 6 mana, so we're at 9. The outsider is going to draw 1 card, which is a Shade Hunter. That has a +1 mana, so we go up to a maximum of 10. And this is an epic monster. After a neighbour, so this is like an elite version of the Shade Coven. And now this guy comes down. Alright, well, we're going to exhaust our castle and pay a mana to draw a card, and it's a Starpiercer. Ooh, that's a type of castle. We are going to fall 1 short, I think. How devastating. So we're going to play this guy here, 1, 2, 3. We're going to play the Lightning Naginata for 1. And we're going to play this Starpiercer for 1, 2, 3. The Starpiercer basically gets charges. It's a tower. So we're going to gain 2 charges. And we can exhaust the Star Piercer and get rid of a charge to remove 2 health from a minion. So that's helpful, would have been probably more helpful a little bit earlier. Now if we count up the attack here, this guy has armor 3 and 4 health, which means we need to do 7 damage to him in this turn. Our fight effect is 1 damage. We have 3 and we've gained a bonus of 2, which means we're going to do 6 damage and we're going to be 1 short. This guy's going to do 3, this guy's going to do 3, and this guy's going to do 4 for a total of 9, which is going to defeat our fortress in this turn. And that's it. So it's quite a quick game, which is a positive. And I think the difficulty is good. It's a challenge. The only caveat to that I would say is that it can feel quite luck dependent on the draw. You know, the cards that you get, the treachery effects that you suffer, some of those can be quite impactful. And if you are able to, you know, play around those as best you can, and you know, have them not impact you too much, good. Sometimes they just stuff you up. But that's quite fun. So yeah, and anyway, we'll just go through the next step. So the treachery phase. So the rightmost gets a bonus attack. This guy attacks, so he's going to pillage a card for 1, and then he's going to do 2 damage to our castle, 1, 2. The Shade Coven's going to do 1, 2, 3. And the Shade Hunter, even though it is opposed by a tower, the tower doesn't have any health, it doesn't block anything. So it does 1, 2, 3, and we are defeated. We don't even get to this point before we fight each other. The Crane Shadows would leave him alive on 1 health. So that's it. We're going to re-rack and try again. I'll be back shortly. All right, we're ready to re-rack. Let's go again. And this is a cool thing about this game. You get to try a little taster of a deck. You get to see a few of their cards. And then you get about 30 minutes of play. And I think that first game was like 30 minutes with some explanation. So this one will probably be even quicker. Level 2 we're playing on, which I think is probably what you would consider average difficulty. Bushido of the Sakura, Shadowling, Koi Shadows, Bushido of the Sakura, and Thunder Cavalry. Okay. So we might just ditch both of these. I'll keep the Shadowling this time, and we'll see if we can get one of our... Yes! Oh, that's a great start! Look at that, Sakoshi and the Bushido of the Peony. That Bushido of the Peony is one of my favourites when you can get him going. He's a tank. Thunder Cavalry, you may deal 3 damage to your castle to reduce Thunder Cavalry's mana cost by 1. If Bushido of the Sakura is engaged, he deals 1 damage to the portal. Okay, so we might bring him down and the Bushido of the Peony. Let's see, we'll save Sakura. I don't think I shuffled these. Let's see what we get. So, we start by gaining 4 mana. I'm going to deal out 1 card, and it is an Oni champion. Oh, that's a tougher one too. After damages the castle, it pillages 2 cards. He's got armor 2. Okay. So let's play our Bushido of the Peony right there for 2 mana. And then we can deal 3 damage to our castle to reduce Thunder Cavalry's mana cost by 1. And they are heroic 2. So I'm actually going to do 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, and reduce the cost to there. And I am going to bring down a minion. Let's bring these Yetnar minions. Okay. That's it. That's going to be our turn. So we're going to move on to the treachery phase, and we flip a +1 attack for this guy, a temporary attack. So he's attack 2. He's going to do 2 damage to the Thunder Cavalry. Let's do it in order, Deno. Okay, so here, doing 2 attack, we have 1 armor, so that's just going to do 1 damage to us, which means it will now trigger our heroic. And this guy does have armor 2, which means we're not going to kill him, but we might have a solution to that. We shall see. Excellent. Here the Yetnar minions are attacking for 2 on our Thunder Cavalry. Fortunately, our Thunder Cavalry have 3 health, and they also have heroic which means they are now attack 5. And we've destroyed the Yetnar minions, which means we can draw a card. A steam tower, excellent. All right, that's definitely coming out next turn. Okay, so we go into the pillage phase. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Next round, we gain 4 mana. The first card we draw is Snipers. Get out of here. I don't like these snipers. That's a spell, so that kills them. And Onakai minions gain 2 attack, so they're up to 3. That's awful. And the second card is Revenant Cavalry. It gains +2 attack this turn. And when they're destroyed, they summon a skeleton token. Okay, I was going to bring out Sakoshi, but that's going to change my plans now. So we're going to put the Bushido of the Sakura. We're going to put the Shadowling. We're going to put the Steam Tower over here. And when we play the Shadowling, we're going to grab out one of our attachments. It'll just be the Naginata. We'll shuffle this. And that was all 4 of our mana. 1, 2, 3, 4. So this Steam Tower, when it plays, it gets 3 health. And we can exhaust it to give all of our allies +1 attack for the remainder of the turn. So I might bring down those Onakai minions. Yep. Just so they're not pillaging us for a large number. And that's it. And we will use a level in our Steam Tower to give everyone +1 attack. So you can mark these with these little tokens should you want. +1 attack. The white ones are temporary. The brown or the full coloured ones are not temporary. That's it for us. We've spent all our mana. And so we have a Treachery. It is the Onakai minions gain +1 attack. That's always good for us because they were already going to kill the Bushido. So here, he's attack 2. We have armor 1, so we're going to suffer 1 damage. Because of our heroic 3, we're attack 3. And this takes us to attack 4. These guys are armor 2, and they have 2 health, so we defeat them, which draws us a card. It's another Shadowling. Our Shadowling is attack 2. These guys are attack 2. So the Shadowling is going to be defeated, but it is also going to defeat this Revenant Cavalry, which will allow us to draw a card, and it will place a skeleton token there. And finally, the Onakai minions are 4 attack, which is going to be relevant because they have a special rule, but we're 3 attack, so we're going to kill them. They're going to kill us, and they're going to do 2 damage to our castle because of Trample. So Trample is a rule that says if you overkill your target, damage goes onto the castle. Killed another monster, gain another card. Pillaging, 1, 2. Oh, that's one of our other guys, Yami. Bushido. Oh, that's an awesome card. Whew. Okay, fortunately for us, this turn, no troops coming out. So we've done a really good job here, I think. Really good job of managing this situation. It's not really the right time to bring down Sakoshi, I don't think. So we gain 4 mana. We're drawing no cards, and there's no outsiders in the pile. Sakoshi deals 1 damage to a monster or the portal. If I bring Sakoshi down this turn, we absolutely eliminate the portal. So let's do that. We'll put Sakoshi into play. Gorilla 2, so we're going to remove the Nephalite Minions card. And we will bring down, we'll put her in position over here. So we're going to exhaust both of them to swap their positions. And again, this is tactical, strategic I love it. Okay, so her play card is done. The fight effect deals 1 damage to a monster or the portal. So we're going to get to do Treachery first. Treachery, summon a skeleton. That's okay, that works out well. I placed him here. So during the fight, we're going to do this and defeat that skeleton token, which is then going to allow us to do 1, 2, 3 damage to the portal. This bonus attack is gone. This one's going to do 1 damage to our castle, and we're then going to do 1, 2, 3 damage to the portal, which is going to destroy it. So reinforce 2 and place the outsider on the bottom of the outsider pile here. Reinforce 2 is add 1 health to 2 minions, 1, 2. And that is the end of the turn. Everyone's going to unexhaust. Still got our Steam Tower. Having her in play is really helpful for me. Especially now that we get 6 mana. We defeated no troops because you don't get to draw cards off skeletons. Okay, 6 mana, draw 2 cards. The first one is some Shadow Hounds. And the second one is a Shade Coven. Alright, so these guys will kill each other, which is fine. Okay, so we're going to play the Koi Shadows for 1. Their play effect is you may discard a card to draw a card, so we'll do that. Ooh, a Bushido Officer! So yeah, we'll spend 4 to play the Bushido Officer into position here. Oh, sorry, this guy is also supposed to deploy here. Does that change what we do with this guy? I don't think so. And we will spend a mana to put this Lightning Naginata on him. Okay, so we're going to exhaust to give an ally 4 attack for the rest of the turn. Do we need to do that? Probably not. But we can do this to exhaust that. Koshi deals 1 damage to a monster or the portal. So we can plink off one of the armor there. If Shade Hounds are engaged and the rightmost lane is free, move them there. So they would run away if this lane was free. However, it's not free. Let's zoom in on the cards. I'm really annoyed by that glare. That's really annoying. I was excited about recording tonight, and now that glare's made me upset. Sakoshi deals 1 damage to a monster or the portal. So our best play there is to deal 1 damage to the Shade Hounds, kill the Shade Hounds, and Sakoshi is defeated, but at least we draw a card. The Koi Shadow is going to kill the skeletons, the Bushido of the Peony is going to kill the Shade Coven, and this Bushido Officer is going to kill there, because we need a total of 5, and we have 5. So just to make sure of it, we'll drop this on our tower, it's exhausted. Everyone gains +1 attack for the remainder of the turn, and that is all in our turn. So we'll play the Treachery. So the Shade Hounds get +1 attack, which is great, doesn't really matter to us. Sakoshi deals 1 damage to a monster of the portal. We'll deal it to the Shade Hounds, and then we will attack for 4. Actually, do we need to do that? Maybe we are better off. We'll do it to the skeleton token. So we defeat the skeleton token with our attack. And then, because our attack 4 from the Steam Tower, the Shade Hounds are defeated, but Sakoshi is defeated. We draw a card. Bushido of the Rose. Nice. The Koi Shadows are now attack 2, which is going to go on the portal, which is great. This Shade Coven, I'm not sure if I pillaged last turn. I'll just pillage now, just in case. I'm not sure if I did, but maybe I didn't. Bushido of the Peony, we're attack 4, thanks to our Steam Tower. And these guys have gained a health because a neighbour of theirs was destroyed, so they're attack 3, or health 3. But we defeat them, and unfortunately they defeat us, our Bushido of the Peony. defeats the Shade Coven. We draw a card. Dragon Punch, that's a good card to get right now. And this Bushido Officer is attack 5. We don't have a fight effect here. He's armor 2, so that is enough for the Bushido Officer to defeat the Hatebringer at level 1, which puts the level 2 outsider in the pile and allows us to draw a card. We're looking good. We're looking good. It's the next round. That should be here. So we're going to gain 6 mana. And we're going to flip 1 card, which is Revenant Cavalry. And then, oh, and I need to pillage 1, 2, 3. And then the Hatebringer comes down in this lane. So that's a bit crummy. He's armor 3. We need to get to 7 damage in this turn to defeat him. Assault 1 is deal 1 damage to the portal or to the outsider. Let's go to shadows. Yep, so we're going to do this. We're going to do Cicada Shadows, which costs us 3. 1, 2, 3. We're going to play this Unexhaust. If we play this Shadowling, that's going to gain us the Naginata again. So yep, let's do that. And we'll keep the Naginata in hand for this next turn. So we're going to go our last 2 mana on Dragon Punch on our Koi Shadows. Great. For the remainder of the turn, an ally gains +3 attack. Again, we could use these little temporary attack tokens. 1, 2, 3. And trample. And maybe we'll use the Steam Tower in this turn to get us closer than ever before. Do we bring down some minions? Yep, let's bring down the Radamil minions and stop them from pillaging us. It's the Treachery phase. Summon a skeleton token. It goes on the right, I think, because it's got the far right over there. So we'll do that. And that's it. So we go on to fight. They were summoned this turn, so they're killing our Cicada allies, but they get Assault 1. So Assault 1 is going to break 1 of his armor this turn. And then we're going to kill each other. We've killed him. When he is destroyed, he summons a skeleton. Little pest, but we've killed him, so we gain a card. Bushido of the Peony. Yes. Now, Koi Shadows. Remember, we have +1 attack from our Steam Tower. So we're actually attack 5. So 2 of those penetrates the armor. And then we do 1, 2, 3. So he's got 1 health left. Oof. But he does kill our Koi Shadow. And he doesn't have... Oh, yep, he has +1 attack and trample for the remainder of the turn. So we are 1 health. He's attack 6, so he's doing 4 damage to our castle, taking us to 10. Dragon Punch is gone. Shadowlings and Radamils kill each other, which allows us to draw a card. And this skeleton's going to do 1 damage to my tower, to the thing. And we're going to pillage 2 cards. 1, 2. We're close. Come on, team. We can do it. We can do it. Let's go. Okay, so... Oh, this round we're drawing 2 cards, man. We gain 6. 1. Snipers. Oh. Onykai minions gain 3. If there is no ally, the castle takes 3 damage. We're down to 6. Don't do this to me, game. Second card. Shadehounds. That rotates to there. Alright, Bushido of the Peony can stop their attack. Bushido of the Rose can stop their attack. The Lightning Naginata, so we're going to spend 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and we might as well bring a Shadowling down here. We can discard this because it doesn't have any further effect. You don't have to, but you can discard 1 card each turn. Oof. If the Shadehounds are engaged and the rightmost lane is free, it's not free. Okay. Okay, so this is going to be a victory, I think. The Treachery phase tells us that the leftmost skeleton token gains an attack. The skeletons attack the Shadowling and we defeat each other. We don't get to draw a card when we defeat skeletons. The Hatebringer! Okay, so our ally Bushido of the Rose is attack 2 +2. This guy's only got 1 health left, so we are going to defeat him. We do need to survive the turn though. We die thanks to our Naginata. And he has got attack 5, so we are taking 1, 2, 3 damage to our castle. The Bushido is taking 3 damage but -1 because of the armor. And the skeletons do 1 to our castle. Victory! What a cool little game. That was only, what, 20 minutes? So I do think there is quite an element of, quite a degree of strategy, but and the inevitable comparisons that I'll draw this year is with Ashes Reborn, because Ashes was a smash hit for me this year. A lot of great tactical interplay, a really great engaging AI opponent, PvE as it were, and this does create some interesting different things that Ashes doesn't do. I mean, you do have very similar sort of perspective of lanes where, you know, they're attacking the left or the right or the center in Ashes, where here it's just a little bit more specific. The cards in Ashes I feel like have a little bit more ability to control the game state a little bit more. This does feel very dependent on the cards that you draw. You know, our little hero Sakura, wherever they are, that was the key, I think, to us winning that showdown, that fight, because Sakura was able to, Sakoshi, there you go. Sakoshi was able to come down, stop a minion from pillaging. Oh, speaking of, we've got to get pillaged for 5 cards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There we go. Yeah, was able to stop minions from pillaging, was able to kill a couple of guys at crucial moments, as well as be on the board for the next turn. And that's one of the key things in Ashes as well, is when you can be on the board in the next turn with your cards, that's when you start to build tempo and start to take the enemy down. So there's 4 different decks, 4 different coloured decks in the game. There's red, blue, green and yellow. I don't really know anything about them. These guys seemed like they wanted to do a lot of plink damage to the portal and the outsiders, so I would consider this a burn deck, to use Ash's terminology. The blue one seemed very much like a healing deck and a stay in play sort of deck. And I haven't looked at the green and yellow yet, so I'm going to set up for a game with maybe one of the other ones, one of the yellow ones maybe. And yeah, but I think this is a keeper for me, where we're at the moment. I think this is a game that I'll keep in my collection, certainly for the next little while as I play through each of the different things. But yeah, what a question I have is about its longevity. And there is a second, this is the 2 expansions, the original and the first expansion, Skytear, Hordes, Monolith. There's a 3rd expansion called Campaigns, and it looks as though the campaign version of this game will be the version that keeps me interested in it, because you play 4 little games in a row, and each one you keep your deck, you build your deck up throughout the mission, you buy cards, you rebuild your castle, and you have other little decisions. And I feel like that is the type of game that's going to engage me the most. This, very good, very clean, very luck-based. So, yeah, we'll see how we go. That's it. BigDenoPlays Skytear Hordes. I will catch you all in the next episode. BigDeno out.